Guys, I'm teaming up with my good friend, retired Navy SEAL Jocko Willnick for something real special. Jocko started Jocko Fuel when he found out the supplements he was buying for himself and his family were filled with heavy metals and ingredients he was unaware of. He wanted a line of supplements and consumables that had all of the good, effective ingredients and none of the bad. So we made it happen. I got set up with all of the key products, and we want to do the same for you. Jocko Go energy drinks for clean, sustainable energy. Jocko Milk Protein for 30 grams of delicious grass-fed protein, plus a full line of supplements to support mood, focus, hydration, joints, and more. Jocko Fuel supplements are scientifically formulated and made with ingredients that are clinically tested. They are better for you options with no artificial flavors or sweeteners, no added sugar, and no gray area ingredients or banned substances. It's clean fuel with health compromise. And right now, you can get 20% off when you use code Chael at jockofuel.com. Or if it's easier, just click on the link below. Oh, no, I don't want this to have happened. No, my guy. Jon Fury, and I'm talking about senior. I think he's so entertaining. I think he's so great for the sport. I feel that he's calculated. I feel that he understands it. He knows when to fill in the gaps. And that's a very big deal. Because Junior, the little brother, there's a way to make him a 7-figure fighter. There's a way to make him a main event. But you need Jon. You need the dad. And that's okay. This is all good stuff as long as you have it. Right? Like chocolate chip cookies aren't very good unless you have the chocolate chips. Like it's one of those important things. But if you got a whole bunch of chocolate chips and you forgot the butter, there's no problem with that. It's just making sure that you understand those ingredients. And I always praise him. I always praise Jon because he's so strategic and calculated. He knows when to come in. And he only turns that up. He only puts the spotlight on himself as a way of entertaining you if the main attraction, one of his boys, is not doing it enough. He waits. He sees his turn. He reads the room. And he re-energizes everything. He's great. I love it. Now, one thing that will happen, and it's not a maybe, it will happen to everybody, is when they are pushing that envelope and when they are seeing just how loud and how hard do I go, they will go too far. Now, you will never go far enough at anything in life if you're not willing to go too far. It's one of those things where you've got to do the measure and you got to look like, we're there, pull it back. It's one of those things. Very hard to do. It's very hard to ever pull it back. Oh, and by the way, before you can, just in the theory of what I just laid out, you must first go too far. You must. Would you pull anything back had you not gone too far to start with? Do you understand how you can't do it perfect? It's one of the ingredients. A negative component is one of the ingredients. All right. I tell you that because Jon headbutted kid. I didn't want him to have done it. The old man has never done that. He has never crossed that line. The old man has been nothing but entertainment, and it doesn't matter if you're laughing at him. He will sacrifice himself for the show. He knows you're going to call him fat if he takes his shirt off. He will take it off anyway so that you can call him that and have the picture proof. He's awesome. He's awesome. He headbutted a guy. And I've got to tell you, I'm going to tell you the story as I understand it, but I have to word it like this, okay? Like you wonder how we can have video of the assassination of JFK, and here we are 50 years later, but nobody can tell you who killed him. Like there's sometimes you can't believe your lying eyes. I mean, truthfully, so the headline reads, Jon Fury headbutts someone and it's a bloody mess. That's what it says. So you see Jon Fury's back and you see this someone. Now this could be a grown man. This guy could be 35 years old, but he looked to me like a boy. He was very small in comparison to Jon Fury in size and in height, and he looked to me like a child. He looked to me like he was, and by the way, that's anyone from that, that 17, 25, 26, that's a child. That's somebody that's there to enjoy the show, a fan, of which are completely off limits. Now that's by my eyes. I don't need you to tell me who this person was, how old they were, but I'm sharing for you. They were definitely undersized, and they looked like they were just happy to be part of it. And Jon's head then comes in the scene. So now you look at the back of the head, and he throws a headbutt. His head now moves, and you see the person that I was referring to a moment ago, and they look confused. They didn't look hurt. They didn't look angry, like now they want to fight. They had the same look on that you saw in the camera shot prior to the alleged headbutt taking place. So I now know that they were headbutt because I read it. And then later they had a picture of Jon as a straight on and he's bleeding. So I've now decided that he headbutted him in that scene that I watched with my own eyes and didn't see the headbutt. Oh, and by the way, it must have landed somewhere bad because it cut Jon's head, even though the person who was the victim has no mark whatsoever. I mean, the whole thing is it's very strange. And it's one of those shots, if you're the one that's producing and going to release it to the internet, you have something. Oh, you better bet. You have somebody that's a licensed fighter or is the father of the reigning world champion, and they do something like that in a non-sanctioned environment. It's extremely compelling, and you've got something. But they didn't release it. When I watched it, it had 3 different edit cuts. I mean, for example, when Jon headbutts it, boom, that you've got the shot, put it out. Right, this is Rickson Gracie versus Hugo Duarte on the beach. It is the holy grail. But they don't put it out. They edit it together with a later clip that then shows Jon and he's bleeding, forcing you to assume he is bleeding due to the headbutt that he threw that person. But to prove it, all you have to do is just keep the tape rolling. It was just a weird thing. I'm just calling out a weird thing. And you want to know why I'm wording it like this? Because I'm not positive he headbutted him. I'm positive that something happened, and the person that put the article out has decided, or at least wants you to believe, that he headbutted him. In fact, the proof of it is that he's bleeding, but they don't show it, and I just think that's weird. And my verbiage comes from somewhere. Way back once upon a time, there was this guy, and he was fired, but he was an executive director in Nevada. And he did not want Michael Bisping licensed because Michael Bisping spit on a cornerman. And I knew exactly what he's talking about, and I appreciate it. And I spoke to Michael Bisping. I'm well aware of what happened. But he didn't. He didn't speak to Bisping. He didn't speak to the cornerman. He was watching a show, the same one I was, that showed Michael spit. And it does. It's very clear. It never shows where that spit landed. We were then later told that it landed on the cornerman. And while you may not see a distinction, the person that said this was a lawyer. Like, it's kind of important that he knows what it is he's speaking about when he's about to withhold somebody's license. I gave you that whole diatribe to let you know why I'm so specific, right? Like, I gotta be so specific to let you know that in the video that is headline Jon Fury headbutts a guy. I watched the video and you don't see Jon Fury headbutt the guy. But I think he did. I really think he did. There's a famous martial arts story. And it's a guy that founded karate. Founded it. I mean, he started karate, right? He created the word. And he was so dangerous. Wham! He was so dangerous. He'd go out in the woods and he killed like 100 bulls, this guy. 70 bulls, whatever the number. Wham! Chopped their horn off. And the proof of this, the undying proof in karate, they will stand on to this day like this is their sensei, this is their guy. But there's a black and white photograph of a guy in the wilderness wearing a gi, and he's sitting what my son calls crisscross applesauce. And next to him, there's a bull that's dead, and if you look closely, the bull is missing a horn. And therefore, the fact that he chopped the horn off, he killed the bull, and then took the photo, and he apparently 100 others just like. But that's the proof, right? The proof that karate works. It is a thing. Is that the guy that created it was in the wilderness and he killed 100 bulls? Right? He killed X amount of bulls by chopping the horn off. Now, I still don't know. Like, I grew up on a farm. You can take a bull's horn off. It doesn't kill it. I don't know if we're then supposed to chop the horn off and then use that to stab it. Like, I don't know whether removal of one horn equals dead bull, but There's a lot of people that believe because of that photograph, it happened. Pretty sure John Fury headbutted the guy. I hope he did it. I wish he wouldn't. That would be John going too far. But before I look like a fool that would misreport something I would take serious, I must let you know. I watched the video. I didn't actually see a headbutt.